say a man is shaped by the land he's born into. For him, that land was harsh, unforgiving. Born to sharecroppers, his world was one of relentless toil under the unforgiving sun. Yet his heart beat to a different rhythm, a rhythm of chords and notes that promised escape. Welcome, dear listeners, to African American Legends. Tonight, we invite you to journey with us down a winding road through the veiled mists of time to a place where legends are born and shadows whisper secrets. This is a tale of ambition and desire, of haunting melodies and dark bargains. Settle in, but beware. The crossroads await, and not all who venture there return the same. In the heart of the Mississippi Delta, where the muddy waters of the mighty river carve their way through rich, dark soil, there was a young man named Robert Johnson. Born in Hazelhurst, Mississippi in 1911, Robert was a quiet soul with eyes that held the weight of generations. From a tender age, Robert was entranced by the sounds that drifted from the juke joints, those sanctuaries. The blues called to him like a siren song, irresistible and all-consuming. He yearned not just to play, but to become one with the music, to weave his own stories into the tapestry of sound that defined his people's struggles and dreams. But fate, it seemed, was not kind despite his passion. Robert's attempts at playing the guitar were met with snickers and side-eyed glances. His fingers stumbled over the strings, the notes falling flat like the wilted crops under a scorching sun. Friends and musicians alike dismissed him, their laughter a sharp blade that cut deep into his aspirations. One night, in a dimly lit juke joint thick with smoke and the scent of spilled whiskey, Robert approached Son House and Willie Brown, two of the finest bluesmen in the Delta.
Please, teach me. I want to play like you.
Boy, you best stick to what you know. Music ain't for everyone.
Humiliated but undeterred, Robert's desire only intensified. The whispers began then soft at first, like the rustling of cotton in the breeze, growing louder with each passing day. Old tales of hoodoo and ancient rituals, of spirits that roamed the night, and of the devil himself, who could grant unimaginable gift for a price. The legend spoke of a crossroads at the edge of town, a place where the veil between worlds was thin. If one were brave or desperate enough, they could go there at the witching hour and call upon dark forces to fulfill their deepest desires. Consumed by his longing, Robert made his decision. On a night when the moon hid behind a shroud of clouds and the air was thick with the promise of rain, he set out alone. The path to the crossroads was fraught with ominous signs. A raven perched silently on a barren tree, the distant howl of a hound, the sudden chill that raised goosebumps on his skin, despite the humid air. As he reached the intersection of two dirt roads, the world seemed to hold its breath. The silence was absolute, broken only by the pounding of his heart. He swallowed hard, gripping his worn guitar as if it were a lifeline.
I'm here.
For a moment, nothing happened. Then, from the shadows, a figure emerged. A tall man dressed in a sharp black suit that seemed to absorb the light. His eyes gleamed with an unnatural fire, and a sly smile played upon his lips.
Evening, Robert. I've been expecting you.
Who are you?
Names aren't important here. What matters is what you seek and what you're willing to offer.
Fear and anticipation warred within Robert, but his resolve held firm.
I want to play the guitar. I want people to feel what I feel inside.
Ah, a noble desire. But such gifts come at a cost.
What do you want?
Your soul, Robert. In exchange, you'll have mastery beyond your wildest dreams. Women will swoon, men will envy, and your name will echo through time.
Robert hesitated, his mind a whirlwind of thoughts. The weight of his failures pressed upon him, the laughter of those who mocked him ringing in his ears. He looked into the stranger's eyes and saw flashes of what could be. Stages illuminated under golden light, crowds swaying to his music, a life unbound by the shackles of obscurity. With a deep breath, he handed over his guitar. The stranger took it, his long fingers gliding over the strings with a grace that was both mesmerizing and unsettling. He played a tune, haunting and beautiful, that resonated deep within Robert's soul. When the stranger returned the guitar, Robert felt a surge of energy course through him, as if the instrument were now an extension of his very being.
It's done. Play, Robert. Play your heart out.
And so, Robert returned to the world, but he was no longer the same. The next time he took the stage, the air crackled with anticipation. As his fingers danced across the strings, a hush fell over the crowd. The notes that poured forth were unlike anything they had ever heard. Raw, emotive, transcendent. It was as if he had bottled the essence of the human experience and set it to music. Words spread like wildfire. Robert Johnson, the man who once fumbled through chords, had become a virtuoso overnight. He traveled from town to town, each performance more electrifying than the last. Yet, beneath the surface of his newfound fame, a shadow lingered. Whispers followed him, of dark pacts made under moonless skies. Some praised him as a genius. Others shunned him, fearing the unnatural aura that clung to him like a second skin.
He ain't right. Mark my words, there's devil's work in that boy.
Robert tried to ignore the unease that gnawed at him, but the signs were impossible to dismiss. Shadows seemed to stretch towards him. Whispers echoed his name when no one was there, and in the quiet moments between songs, he felt a cold presence lurking just beyond the edge of light. One restless night, as a storm raged outside, Robert awoke to the sound of scratching at his door. Heart pounding, he opened it to find nothing but the empty hallway. Yet, as he turned, he caught a glimpse of a figure in the mirror, tall, with eyes like burning embers.
You're imagining things. It's just the wind.
But the haunting only intensified. His dreams were plagued by visions of hellhounds with fiery eyes, chasing him through endless fields of darkness. Their howls pierced his soul, a constant reminder of the bargain he had struck. Desperate for relief, he sought solace in the bottom of a bottle, but the liquor only dulled the edges of his terror. The music that once flowed so freely began to falter, dissonant chords creeping into his performances. Audiences noticed, their admiration tinged with apprehension. One evening, after a particularly unsettling show, Robert confided in a fellow musician, Honeyboy Edwards.
Do you ever feel like something's coming for you?
What you talking about, Robert?
Never mind, just bad dreams.
But Honeyboy knew better. The tales had reached his ears as well, and he couldn't shake the feeling that Robert was teetering on the edge of something profoundly dark. As time wore on, the line between reality and nightmare blurred for Robert. The hellhounds no longer confined themselves to his dreams. He saw them in fleeting reflections, heard their growls in the distance, felt their hot breath on his neck when he was alone. On August 16, 1938, at the age of 27, Robert Johnson's life came to an abrupt and mysterious end. The official story was that he died of syphilis, but whispers told of something far more sinister. Some said he was poisoned by a jealous husband after flirting with the man's wife. Others believed the devil had come to collect his due. His death only amplified the legend. Stories spread of eerie encounters at the Crossroads, of ghostly melodies heard on the wind, of a restless soul trapped between worlds. Even in death, Robert Johnson's influence was profound. His recordings, though few, became the bedrock of the blues and a cornerstone for future genres. Artists like Muddy Waters, Eric Clapton, and Keith Richards spoke of him with reverence and awe, their own music bearing the fingerprints of his haunting legacy. Yet, the question remains, was Robert Johnson's unparalleled talent the result of relentless practice and innate genius, or did he truly strike a dark bargain on that fateful night? Perhaps the Crossroads are more than just a place. They are a metaphor for the choices we face, the paths we choose, and the sacrifices we're willing to make to achieve our deepest desires. In the end, we're left to ponder. What would you give to fulfill your greatest ambition? And more importantly, what price is too high? So, when you find yourself standing at your own crossroads, with the weight of your dreams pressing upon you. Remember the tale of Robert Johnson. Be cautious of the shadows that offer quick paths to glory, for they may lead you down roads from which there is no return. Thank you for joining us on this journey through darkness and desire here at African American Legends. If this tale stirred something within you, beckoning you to delve deeper into the mysteries that bind us, then stay with us. There are more stories to tell, more shadows to explore. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your wits about you. The night is full of secrets, and some doors, once opened, can never be closed.